Yeah.
So it's a way to sort of artificially change the weight of how that chord lands in the progression without having to lose that full G chord. Because otherwise you'd end up with that, right? And then you do different stuff up in this chord shape too, like. It changes the dynamic of how you can use that drop D thing. Technique that gives you some unusual voicings.
What was, you were just playing something in B minor there.
Mm-hmm.
Does that have lyrics?
I was just working on them actually. I don't know what. I think that one is going to be. Requires background. So for a while I worked with this company that did soil remediation and working with agriculture tech to find ways to get plants to uptake more nutrients in water. And for a couple of years I did projects in Iowa that were joint projects between Canadian, American, and Chinese companies that were developing this tech. It was a liquid-based product that you would spray on the fields. And so what happens typically in Iowa is, so the soil in like 98% of farms in the state of Iowa contains no nutrients anymore. It was like burned out 60, 70 years ago and never replaced. Most of these large commercial farms, it's happening here in Canada too. But they basically completely strip the nutrient base out of the soil and it never replenishes under this system. And so what happens is every plant you grow only takes in what you put in, right? So that's why potash is so valuable, and we have all this fertilizer. But when we put fertilizer on the land, 90% of that just leaches out through the soil and into the water anyway and ruins other shit. So what we were looking at was, is there a way, without having to change conventional farming practices, could we introduce a product that would allow the plant itself to uptake more water and more nutrients from the fertilizer so that less would run off, there would be less waste, and it would be less, what we were pitching it as is less cost to the operator. So we said, spray our product on the ground first, then plant and put your fertilizer on, and what happens then is, using this product that I was involved with, spray it on the field first, and then the plant would actually uptake almost 20 times the material into the plant. More water, more nutrients out of what was sprayed on, so there was less runoff, and then they had to spray on less product to get the same results.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, we ended up creating lots of test sites where there was more yield. Okay? And sorry, lost that one.
A lot of sites where there was more yield.
Yeah, so the story about the song. So what's happening now is we're in a situation in most places in the world where we've just completely eliminated any nutrient base in the soil and there's nothing left. So I was thinking, I've had this riff for probably a year. It's one that I use to practice because my fingers don't quite work anymore, so it's nice little exercise. But I was thinking about the idea of the futility of planting seed in ground that won't grow anything.
Oh, good Lord. I mean, that's
Maybe that's the first line. Oh, good Lord.
No, but seriously, that's biblical, right? Planting.
But that's what we do.
It was a Jesus quote. I can't even think of it.
And that's what we're doing in all of these farms around here. that's the practice that it's leading to. Is and this like I was doing this work in Iowa in the early 2000s, so that's 20 years ago almost. And it's like it's that it's a medium to hold a plant, and then the soil itself is dead. And yet,
Decay, down on the street where no children can play. Home with a cane, everybody said it. Seems to be a case of giving away too much